and welcome back to chapter 4, lecture number 3. So we continue to work on the medieval building we just created in lecture 2. And I want to focus on preparing this medieval building so we can use it in the other lectures. So what I mean by this is in the next lecture, I want to add holes in this structure for the doors, the windows, and the hatches. And before we add holes with the Boolean modifier, we want to add some extra edge lines and bevel lines so the building is ready for it. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. So before you do anything, it's very key that you check that the scale is still set on 1, because if you, for example, scale the building in the object mode, this change. And what will happen if you use the Boolean modifier is that it won't do it right. So it will be a little bit, it will be jammed. So if it is 1, you're good to go. If it's set for, if it has other values, you press Ctrl A, rotation and scale. And then you're ready to go and to continue. So you don't need to redo it, but this is very important. All right, let's continue. So I want to create some extra edge lines so we do not have problems with the Boolean. So press Ctrl R and press 5. And you can also press Ctrl R, scroll 2, 3, 4, 5. So what you prefer. So let's do this by hand. Ctrl R and 2 on the sides. And try to have Ctrl R sort of square shapes everywhere. That's, I think, the best what we can have on it. So some over there, and it looks good. So that went pretty quickly. All right. The following step is add some bevel lines. And you can do that by press Alt, right mouse button on these edges and press Ctrl B, Shift, and move this a little bit. Yeah, Ctrl Z, Ctrl B, and move this. Don't go for 2, just 1 bevel line. You can also press Alt, Shift, right mouse button to select multiple lines and Ctrl B. So that speed ups. I do not recommend to select everything. Ctrl L, Ctrl B, because this will add a lot of bevel lines, and that's a bad thing for your typology. So don't do that. So the problem with if you only select this line and Ctrl B and you select this line, it already has problems to find the right edges, and it also duplicate these two. So let's go for these, and these. Ctrl B. And bevel lines helps to reflect the light on a realistic way. So if you have a sharp edge line and you make a render of your building, it doesn't really get a realistic look. But if you add some very small bevel lines, it shows the edges very well. And especially if you have a PBR workflow, this is almost essential to do. I mean, to get that realistic look. So we continue with this. I love talking when I do this. I just want to explain why I'm doing it and not like go add a bevel line without explaining. Yes, just very small. Alt, right mouse button, Ctrl B. And there you go. I want 1 on the bottom as well. And it's selecting around, that's just good. Ctrl B. All right, just go to the rear, Alt, Ctrl Z, Alt, right mouse button, and for this line as well, that one, this one, and select these. Yes, and Control B. You can see it's very smooth. So if you have something like this, it's you can do it, but don't go for this. It's very small. All right. Good. And I also want to select this top line. Go to the front. Z, B, to deselect everything. And select these as well. And drag them a little bit upwards. So it's more curvy looking than just a flat roof line. Okay. Well done. If you have this, it's the end of the lecture and we're good to go. And it's also good to know that you can download these blend files in the lecture downloads if you want to skip this process and want to continue. But you can also do it yourself. So yeah, just one final check if everything is good. I have no problems that the bottom has no bevel line because it's standing on the ground and you won't see it. All right, so see you in the next lecture and bye-bye.